Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you in today's session. Day 5. Okay, so today we are going ahead with our discussion. So we have seen first 3 verses of Isha Upanishad. Can anyone tell one line what is the discussion of first verse, second verse, and third verse? What is the theme? What is the essential theme? See, if you want to learn any book nicely, just memorize overview. By going through again and again, memorize overview. Okay, what does mantra 1 say? Mantra 2, mantra 3. Okay, this is the section. Then mantra 4, 5, 6, this is the section. So if you go like that, you will remember very easily scripture. Overview, you look at the overview. So first section we talked about, mantra 1 to 3. So if someone asks you, what's there in mantra 1 to 3 of Ishopanishad? So you should be able to tell what is there. So can you tell anyone from Mataji? Yes, Mataji. Who is the proprietor? Okay. Yes. So, all right.
What is the benefit of living according to Isha?
Yeah. Okay. Third.
What is the loss if you don't live like what?
Very nice. Huh? Yes. First verse is telling us, okay, first recognize the proprietorship of the Lord. Who is the proprietor? Who is the proprietor? Lord is the proprietor. So once you recognize that proprietorship, then you live as per that principle. That is called living as per Ishavasya principle. What is Ishavasya principle? If you ask, what is Ishavasya principle? What will you say?
Lord is the supreme proprietor.
Exactly.
And, second one is take what is your quota.
Yeah. Yes. So that's Ishavasya principle. Very nice. Lord is the proprietor. He is only the proprietor. Supreme, meaning then it can give a sense that I am a small proprietor. He is supreme proprietor. He is the proprietor. One time Prabhupada was with one glass merchant, glass businessman, and this glass businessman. So Prabhupada started saying, whom does all the glass belong to? So he understood. He said, Prabhupada, it belongs to Supreme Lord. So you are making glass and who is making profit? He said, Prabhupada, I am making profit. So Prabhupada said, so you are a thief? Because glass belongs to Lord and you are making profit. No, he said, but Prabhupada, he was like, he was very much flabbergasted in front of everyone. So he said, but Prabhupada, I give some donation. Prabhupada said, means you are a small thief. Prabhupada said to him, right? So Prabhupada's point was to recognize that proprietorship aspect. Lord is only the proprietor. And we should take as per our quota. So yes, that is Ishavasya, as you said. Wonderful. So, second verse talks about the benefit of living like that. Third verse talks about the loss if we don't live like that. Yes. So, what exactly is the benefit of living as per Ishavasya principle? क्या benefit है भाई? Yes, Madhuri, yourself.
We will not in the bondage with it.
Yeah. We will not be in the, yes, bondage of what? Very nice. So we will be freed from the bondage of karma. We will not be bound by karma. Na karma lipyate nare. उस नर को, उस व्यक्ति को कर्म का लेप नहीं लगता है. न कर्म लिप्यते नरे. So that's the benefit. So with that we talked about vikarma, akarma, karma. Very nicely we discussed that topic, right? So just in one line, what is karma, what is vikarma, what is akarma? Who can tell? हिंदी ग्रुप बोलिए. हाँ प्रभु जी. कर्म क्या है, विकर्म क्या है, अकर्म क्या है, बोलिए.
कर्म मीन्स शास्त्र के हिसाब से तो हम कुछ कार्य करेंगे परंतु भगवान को नहीं मानेंगे, अपने इंद्रिय के लिए करेंगे। विकर्म मीन्स
भगवान को नहीं मानेंगे.
भगवान को मानेंगे नहीं मानेंगे,
नहीं मानेंगे भगवान को. अच्छा. कर्मकांडी व्यक्ति भगवान को नहीं मानेगा.
मानेंगे शास्त्र के विरुद्ध कार्य भी कर, शास्त्र के
सम्मत कार्य कर.
लेकिन अपने इंद्रिय।
हाँ, तो शास्त्र के सम्मत कार्य करेंगे, भगवान को भी मानेंगे, लेकिन अपनी इंद्रिय तृप्ति के लिए करेंगे.
विकर्म मीन्स शास्त्र के विरुद्ध कार्य करेंगे.
बिल्कुल.
और अकर्म मीन्स भगवान को केंद्र में रख के पूरे कार्य करेंगे भगवान.
बिल्कुल. तो इसमें कौन कर्म बंधन में फंसता है और कौन नहीं फंसता? इसमें तीनों में
जो अकर्म है वो बंधन में नहीं फंसेंगे, विकर्म ये भी बंधन में फंसेंगे, और जो कर्म वाले
भी फंसेंगे.
yes, yes.
अच्छा, वो भी फंसेंगे. ठीक है, अच्छा है, अरे बोलना सही है. ओके. हाँ, तो कर्म विकर्म अकर्म हमने उसमें देखा. तो अकर्म में हमने दो मार्गों की चर्चा की थी. अकर्म वाले ये दो कैटेगरी में आते हैं. हाँ, अकर्म किसी को याद है कौन सी दो कैटेगरी है कर्म की, अकर्म की?
ब्रह्मवादी और मायावादी. ज्ञान, वो ज्ञानी.
मायावादी हम लोगों ने ब्रह्मवादी से कंपेयर किया था. लेकिन अगर हम ऐसे बोलेंगे कि अकर्म का मार्ग कौन से कैटेगरी से दिखाया जाता है, तो उसमें दो कैटेगरी आएगी. तो एक तो आपने सही बोला कि ब्रह्मवादी लोग होते हैं या निष्काम कर्म योगी लोग होते हैं, लेकिन दूसरा मार्ग कौन सा है, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण मार्ग अकर्म का? भक्ति मार्ग. ठीक है. हाँ, तो भक्ति मार्ग और निष्काम कर्म योग, ये दो मार्गों में अकर्म होता है. निष्काम कर्मयोग के मार्ग में भी ज्ञान होता है, इसलिए वो अकर्म का बन जाता है. ठीक है. तो फिर उसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हमने ब्रह्मवादी और मायावादी की चर्चा की. क्या अभी, हाँ, अभी आप लोगों को प्रिसाइजली बताना है ब्रह्मवादी और मायावादी में क्या अंतर है. आपको ये भी बताना है कि दोनों का गंतव्य क्या होता है, कौन कहाँ जाता है. कौन बताएगा? हाँ, बिल्कुल गलती नहीं. प्रभु. यस. ब्रह्मवादी और मायावादी.
Hare Krishna. When it comes to Brahmavadi, they have a clear understanding on Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Mayavadi, everything is Maya. Bhagavan, Bhakti is Maya. Only Brahman exists. Brahmavadi, he wants to achieve liberation and wants to achieve liberation for Mayavadi as well. Brahmavadi merging in Brahman in person, and again, when it comes to Mayavadi, merging in Brahman.
But who achieves?
So when it comes to achievement, Brahmavadi achieve their goal. Mayavadi doesn't achieve their goal because Krishna doesn't want Mayavadi to get into his Brahman ability. So they get a new birth.
They enter
according
into
to their
they enter into repeated cycle of birth.
repeated cycle of birth.
ठीक है.
The example of Brahmavadi is we had Sudev Goswami.
That was my next question. Okay, good. Yeah, please tell.
Previously, Sudev Goswami and Pauravas were Brahmavadi. But when
Example of Mayavadis?
Mayavadi is Shankaracharya.
Shankaracharya's followers.
Followers.
Yeah, Shankaracharya is Lord Shiva. Right? But his followers are 100% Mayavadis.
Yes. They are often said to Lord Krishna. Mayavadi called Krishna Lila is illusion. And you gave a wonderful example of your friends. And then how you took his wallet. And
Okay. You are summarizing the class now. You are summarizing class. Let's wait. Okay.
You give a wonderful example of Srimad Bhagavatam shlokas
Yeah.
which changed Sukadeva Goswami.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's it. Yes. Yes, thank you very much. All right. Yes, so that was what we discussed in the second verse. And then we talked about what is killer of the soul. Can the soul be killed? It cannot be. So what do you mean by killer of the soul? Third verse is talking about Atmahano. So what is a killer of a soul? Siraj, yeah. Doesn't do his duty. So Karmakandi doesn't do his duty. Watchman is sleeping on his duty. So he's a killer of the soul. What? Yes, anyone else? What is killer of the soul? Yes, Madhuri. One who does not follow Ishavasya principle and thus engage in proper understanding, engage with proper understanding in bhakti. Yes, such a person is considered to be killer of the soul, like that. So it's not a literal word, killer of the soul. It's basically, if you don't engage soul's propensity to love and serve Krishna, then it's called killer of the soul. Like Acharyas give example, Gangayam Ghosha. If you say there is a village in the Ganga, please go to that village in the Ganga. What does that mean? Okay, village Ganga mein hai kya? Where will the village be?
On the bank.
On the bank of the Ganga. Gangayam Ghosha. Ghosha means village. So it's understandable that when you say please go to the village on the Ganga, means not on the Ganga water, but on the bank of the Ganga. So similarly, killer of the soul also, this way. Who is a Sura? Who is an Asura? Clear-cut definition.
Krishna's devotees are the Sura.
Rama's devotees, they are also Narsimhas. So you have to that go on putting the list now. Yes, yes, define more properly. Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, very nice. So Vishnu Tattva Prabhu, everything is Vishnu Bhakta Smruto Daiva Asuras Tat Viparyaya. If one is against Lord Vishnu, even if one may be worshipper of Shiva, still he is called Asura. Kya example hai? Any example? They were worshippers of Shiva, but they were against Lord Vishnu. Ravana. Yes. Or Banasur. So many examples, right? Hiranyakashipu was worshipper of whom? But was against?
Vishnu.
So was he Asura or not?
Asura.
Asura, you see. Very clear definition. Vishnu Bhakta Smruto Daiva Asuras Tad Vipareya. Like that. So that's the point. Yes. Then we talked about that wonderful example from 11th canto where somebody is said to be killer of the soul if he does not utilize the human body, the favorable breezes, the expert captain, all those aspects. So can someone quickly tell there what is the boat compared to, what is the captain compared to, and what is the breezes compared to? Yes.
The boat is compared to the human body. The captain is the guru, and the favorable wind is the Lord.
Favorable wind is the instructions of the Lord. That is Shastra. Okay, very nice. All right. Yes. What happens to a devotee if he is unsuccessful on the path of bhakti? Anyone unsuccessful on the path?
On the path of bhakti, then Lord helps him, Lord and Lord's devotees help him to come again on the path of bhakti, and he's never fallen.
Yeah, that is agreed. I'm talking in terms of post-mortem destination. After his death, what is the destination? In terms of that. What is the, after their death, what is the destination if they don't succeed in one life, Vikram?
They get the next birth in the family of Brahmana and aristocratic.
They get birth in family of Brahmanas and aristocratic people. What about birth as a devotee? Yes, bro, go ahead.
Person more advanced in bhakti, then there is a chance of getting in devotion.
Direct devotee family birth. And yes, if one makes less advancement, then Brahmin family or the family of aristocrats. Okay, very nice. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So you are understanding and remembering also. Good. Mantra 4. All right, new section. Okay, so you talked about Ishvara, Ishavasya principle. How do I know that Ishvara? How to know the Ishvara? So that is the next section now. You see in our section here also. verses 4 to 8. Who is the Ishvara? You talked about Ishvara, Ishavasyam, right? Isha or Ishvara means the same thing. Isha means Ishvara. So who is that Ishvara? How do I know him? What are the principles in knowing him? So next verses 4 to 5, they will talk about how Ishvara is very achintya, inconceivability. So because of that, the Shastra, the Ishopanishad says to us that because of that, please, he can be revealed only by revelation. So please try to please him and get the revelation. Otherwise, he is inconceivable. Bhagavan achintya hai. That's the topic of verses 4 and 5. So you want to know the Ishvara, first principle you have to know is you can't know him. You can't know him fully. Inconceivable. If we just cannot know Krishna, then what are we trying to do in bhakti and all that, right? All the effort will be useless. But when we say we cannot know Krishna, it means we cannot know him fully. We can know him that much by which we can go back home, back to God. So that's our purpose, right? There are agnostics who say you can't know God only. Agnostics. They say what? Well, God exists or doesn't exist. It's not a matter of interest because anyway you can't know him. So we are not agnostics. See, if God is unlimited and we are limited, can limited know the unlimited? So what are we trying to do by studying Shastra then? So we and agnostics are on one party then. He is also saying you can't know the Lord. You are saying, we are also saying we can't know the Lord. Kya difference hai dono?
So we are basically at least trying.
We are at least trying.
Extend our limitation.
Okay.
Unlimitation to.
Fine. I understand. What is the rationale of that trying?
Because the scriptures are direct.
Yes.
We are following something which is proven fact.
So what will happen by that?
So we will be able to know.
Very nice. Haribo. So you come to the point now. Agnostic also says you can't know the Lord. We also say we can't know the Lord. But we say we can know the Lord if Lord reveals himself to us. Is it possible or not?
Yes.
भगवान को कोई कहेगा आप जान ही नहीं सकते, हम नहीं जान सकते, लेकिन भगवान ने निश्चय कर लिया कि आपको उनको प्रकट करवाना है, तो कर सकते कि नहीं कर सकते? You can do it. So that's how devotional service philosophy. Pillai Lokacharya, one of the acharya in South Indian tradition, gives a beautiful example. He says, child wants to climb on a huge Gajraj, the elephant, kingly elephant. So child is trying to, touch the elephant. Can the child reach? He can never reach. So what is the way that the child can climb on Gajraj?
With the serpent, no, with the
If the
serpent of-
Gajraj bends down, अभी गजराज ही नीचे बैठ गया तो चाइल्ड फिर आराम से जाके उस पे बैठ जाएगा and then Gajraj will lift him. So if Gajraj only sits down, then the child can very nicely sit. And when Gajraj is sitting down, still his height and power and all, anything is compromised? Nothing is compromised. He says that is Bhagavan. A devotee or a conditioned soul may not be able to understand the Lord, but Lord only decides to reveal. He comes in the form of deity and he gives the mercy. Pillai Lokacharya is explaining that this is deity form of the Lord. Bhagavan ही भौतिक रूप में आ जाते, so that we can see the deity, we can serve the deity, and we can understand about the Supreme Lord. So this is the point. If you say that Lord cannot reveal himself, that is a limitation on Lord, isn't it? But if he wants, he can reveal himself. And with that understanding, with that process, Vaishnava is trying to understand the Lord Tattvataha, understand the Lord See, when we say we are trying to understand Lord, it doesn't mean we are trying to capture the Lord by our intellect, but we are trying to understand him in principle, tatvatah. Does Krishna not say that even in Bhagavad Gita? Huh? Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tatvatah. जो इसको तत्वतः जानता है. So Krishna is saying that a devotee can know the Lord tatvatah. So that's what we are talking about. So verses 4 and 5, they talk about inconceivability of Ishvara. First, understand that Ishvara or Supreme Lord can be known only through revelation. Then verses 6 and 7, they talk about spiritual vision of the Mahabhagavata. Once that understanding is clear, then how do the Mahabhagavatas perceive the Lord? That is 6 and 7. And finally, how Mahabhagavat describes the Ishvara or understands the Ishvara. So this entire section is understanding Ishvara. This whole next section, 4 से 8 में, क्या है? Understanding the Ishvara, understanding the principles regarding the Ishvara. So now in verses 4 to 5, let us discuss the Chintyata, the inconceivability of that Ishvara. All right. So here is mantra 4. Let's recite together. Anejadekam manaso javiyo nainadevapnuvan purvamarshad tadhavatonyanatyeti tishtar tasminnapo matarishva dadati. Anejadekam manaso javiyo nainadevapnuvan purvamarshad तद्धावतोऽन्यानत्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिष्वा दधाति. All right, so translation, please read.
Although fixed in his abode, the personality of Godhead is swifter than the mind and can overcome all other runnings. The powerful demigod cannot approach him. Although in one place he controls those who supply the air and rain. He surpasses all in excellence.
Yeah, you see, Aneja Dekam, although he is fixed in his abode, Manaso Javiyo, but he is swifter than the mind. Nainat Deva Apnuan Purvam Arshad. The Devas or the senses, they can never conquer him. Purvam Arshad, because he always remains beyond the reach of the Devatas. That word Deva can also refer to our own senses, because Devatas control our senses. So, Lord always remains beyond the reach of our senses. In fact, tad dhavato nyan atyeti tishtat. If you race with the Lord, can someone race with him? No. He overcomes everyone. In fact, he can stay at one place and still conquer everyone in the race. His characteristics are being mentioned. Tasmin napo matarishva dadhati. And all the gods who control the wind and the rain and all of them, they all offer great homage to him. He controls even those who supply the air and rain. He is basically controller of everyone. So although he is fixed in one place, but still he is swifter than the mind. Although he is here, the next verse will say, he walks and doesn't walk. He is here and he is there also. All these characteristics of inconceivability. This is not possible for an ordinary soul, right? If he is here, somebody is here, then he is not there. Isn't it? So Lord, he may be in his abode. Krishna is in his abode or not? Golok Vrindavan. But is he here or not? He is here also. He is there also. When a devotee prays to the Supreme Lord, so Supreme Lord, he is there in the heart. But that Lord who is there in his abode, can he immediately come when the devotee prays or not? He can come immediately. Draupadi prayed, Gajendra prayed, and how Lord reciprocated. Like that. So the point is, for the Supreme Lord, especially in the next verse, we'll talk about contradictory qualities, and it's everything is possible for him. All the devatas and all of them, they can never match the Supreme Lord. Like that. One time, and this story comes in Kena Upanishad. One time, all the devatas became very, very proud that I am powerful. Vayu became powerful. Vayu became, and Agni and Indra and all of them became very, very powerful. So Brahmaji saw that these guys have become powerful, very powerful and proud also, like that. So when they were talking about glory to each other, I am very proud, I am very powerful, Indra has all the Samvartak clouds and he can rain so much. The fire, Agni has his own powers, and then Varuna has his own powers and all that. So one grass, just some grass stick was kept on the ground, and it was told that, okay, Agni, you blow all the fire and burn this off. So Agni came and said, hey, this is such a simple thing. So Agni started blowing all the fire, but the grass stick, nothing is happening to that grass stick. Nothing was happening, absolutely. So he started feeling humiliated. So he started pouring all his power of burning, but nothing happened to that grass stick. So being exhausted, then Agni, he moved aside. And then Varuna said, hey, bekar hai tum, now I'll do. So Varuna came and Varuna started pouring all waters and what all powers he has. And with that, he wanted to destroy that grass stick. Even he could not do anything. Finally, Indra came. Indra, the Devraj. So he tried to also destroy that. He tried all other things, Samvartaka clouds, this, that, all power. Finally, Vajra. He started hitting Vajra on that grass, but nothing happened. Vajra only started breaking like that. So then they all became humble and they started praying to grass stick. Please reveal whoever you are, like that. And that's when, the grass, and there was an Akashvani, and that spoke, I am Supreme Lord. I am Bhagavan. Brahma is the word used there. Acharyas explained that how the Lord spoke that I am Bhagavan. So because you had become proud, so I showed to the whole world. So these are considered to be very prominent demigods, Indra, Agni, and Vayu or Varuna, sometimes Vayu also. So
the story comes in Kena
Kena Upanishad. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Kena Upanishad. So then they realized that how Supreme Lord, who can. Of course, Supreme Lord's many pastimes are there, right? Indra himself was, we say that, humiliated by Krishna in that Govardhan Leela. This way. So the powerful demigods also cannot approach him. And in one place, he controls everything. So Lord is everywhere. He is there everywhere. Paramatma, in the form of Paramatma, he is everywhere. But at the same time, he is there in his abode also. So you can say Lord is closest and he is farthest. So in what form he is closest to you? Paramatma. But he is farthest also. In what form? He is in Vaikuntha. In Bhagavan feature, he is the farthest. So he has a form, he does not have a form also. In which feature he has a form? Yeah? Archa Vigra also, Paramatma also, Bhagavan also, all of them have form. And in which feature he is perceived as formless? Brahman feature. He is perceived as formless. So you see, all contradictions go with him together. It is possible like that. So that is what is the verse saying. that how Supreme Lord, you first understand that how inconceivable he is. So now you see, Prabhupada talks about the various themes in this verse. So he speaks here, 80 stands for absolute truth. Absolute truth cannot be understood by speculation, Prabhupada says, first theme. Okay, someone can read this. Who wants to read? What are the themes that Prabhupada is speaking? Madhav, yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead. You can't see?
Absolute truth when understood by speculation. Paragraph 1. God and his energies. Paragraph 2. Energies non-different yet different. Paragraph 3. As we are limited, we can understand unlimited only truth is revelation. Paragraph 4 and 5. Play your parts and you will be given understanding. Paragraph 6 and 7.
Thank you. All right. Yes. So you see, these are the themes. Prabhupada begins with the theme that absolute truth cannot be understood by speculation. That's the gist of the verse. This verse is speaking that. So he speaks later then something called as Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva. God and his energies are simultaneously one and different. This is our philosophy. Achintya Bheda Veda. There are 4 sampradayas, and 4 sampradayas have their philosophies. What are 4 sampradayas? Someone can tell. Prabhuji, boliye, 4 sampradaya. Shri Sampradaya. और चौथा रुद्र संप्रदाय. बहुत अच्छा, ठीक है. श्री संप्रदाय के सिद्धांत को क्या बोलते हैं? What is the philosophy of Shri Sampradaya? Anyone knows? Yeah. Vishishtadvaita. Remember these names because these names are important. So we will discuss about them later. I'm not going to go into details, but at least names you should know. Where are the markers?
That's so fun.
There on the other side of Africa. All right. So 4 sampradayas, right? So first one is Shri Sampradaya. Second one is Brahma, and then further Brahma Madhva Gaudiya, you could say. Third one is Kumar, and fourth one is Rudra. All right. What is the philosophy of Shri Sampradaya? Vishishtadvaita. Okay. What is philosophy of Brahma Sampradaya? Okay. Good. So basically, Mahaprabhu, when Mahaprabhu and Gaudiya Sampradaya, it came in Brahma Sampradaya, then the philosophy is called as Achintya Vedati. But before that, it was Dvaita. And who gave the name Achintya Vedaved? You know? Mahaprabhu did not give. Our philosophy's name
Madhvacharya.
is not given by Mahaprabhu. It is given by Srila Jiva Goswami. In his Bhagavad Sandarbha, first time he used the name Achintya Bheda. Before that, Mahaprabhu gave the philosophy, but the name was not given by him. Name is given by Srila Jiva Goswami. Okay. So, Madhvacharya's Sampradaya, they have this Dvaita philosophy, but after Madhavendra Puri and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so that philosophy is with a bit more revelation. So it is called Achintya Bheda Bheda. What is Kumar Sampradaya's philosophy? Anyone knows? Okay, good. Dvaita, Dvaita. Dvaita, Dvaita. Matlab Dvait plus Advait. Huh? That is Kumara's. And finally, Rudra Sampradayas? No. Shuddha Dvait. ये philosophies है ना? This was an initiation question for me. When my initiations interview was there, this was one question. Please tell four Sampradayas and four Sampradayas philosophies. Like that. So, all right. So these are the philosophies. So here we are, Achintya Bhedavid. So Prabhupada explains in paragraph 2 and paragraph 3, Achintya Bhedavid Tattva. Why? Because we are talking about Achintya, inconceivability. So he explains our philosophy, how it is Achintya. Then finally he says, as we are limited, so we can understand unlimited only through his revelation. When Lord wants to reveal, that time we can understand him. And finally, so that's why one should play our part, one should play one's part, and then he will be given understanding by the Lord. If we serve him playing our part, then Lord will bless us and we will get his understanding to whatever degree that he wants to reveal. So let's see now. Purport. Okay, please read the highlighted portion. Who wants to read? Someone else can read.
Through the mental speculation, even the greatest philosopher cannot know the Supreme Lord, who is the absolute personality of Godhead. He can be known only by his devotees through his mercy.
One second. So Lord can be known only by his devotees through his mercy. So Krishna may be inconceivable. Greatest philosophers also cannot know him, right? So we see that in Brahma Samhita it is mentioned. That Prabhupada quotes this, 534, famous Brahma Samhita's verse. So we'll recite this together. Panthastu koti shatavatsara sampradamyo vayo rathapi manaso munipungavanam sopyasti yat prapadasimnya vichintya tattve govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Yes. So even if one goes on speculating, trying to understand the Lord with the speed of the wind, somebody has such a mind which is, working so fast, but still one will not be able to understand the Supreme Lord with such brain. But what to speak of then Kali Yuga brain, right? Which whatever is told also they cannot remember. So what to speak of trying to apply the brain and trying to understand the Supreme Lord by mental power. So that's the point that Prabhupada is quoting over here in this particular verse. And then I want you to read this also, then we will discuss. Yes. In the Vishnu Puran. No, somebody else read. No, Prabhu. Somebody else. Everybody should get chance to read. Yeah.
In Vishnu Puran, his potency are compared to the heat and light that emanate from the fire. Although situated in one place, a fire can distribute its light and heat from same distance. Similarly, the absolute the absolute personality of Godhead, although fixed in his transcendental abode, can diffuse his different energy everywhere.
Yeah. So with this Vishnu Puran verse, no, Prabhupada is beginning actually explanation of Achintya Bheda Tattva. Ekadesh Sthitasya Jyotsna Vistarini Yatha Parasya Brahmana Shaktir. What's the line? Last line. Parasya Brahmana Shaktir Yayedam Dharyate Jagat Prabhupada. Yes. So anyway, what I want to say is that yes, Prabhupada begins with this theme that it is the Lord is inconceivable. Absolute truth cannot be understood by speculation. So actually, some people feel that you can understand the Lord by logic. You can think about what should be the conception of the Lord, and then you can come to the conclusion. Is it possible? One can understand the Lord by logic. One can understand the Lord by only thinking about Him. See, it's like an ant which is walking here. That ant, can the ant understand about this expanse of this whole room? इस रूम में क्या क्या है, क्या चल रहा है, चींटी समझ सकती है. She may walk everywhere, but can she understand what's going on here? In fact, they have done the research. The ant does not understand even the third dimension. Ant only understands 2 dimensions. So when she is walking like this, and then she starts climbing on the wall, that is third dimension, right? On the ground, there are 2 dimensions. But when you see, this is length, this is breadth, but when you are going on top, that is which dimension? Height it is. It is the third dimension. So for her, it's flat surface only. For her, it is flat surface. She is going, and then when she climbs, then it's again a flat surface. An ant may find out whatever is her food by going like that. But there is no recognition of the third dimension there. It's like you are going like this or like this. Even if it is height, then you go like that. So you see, for an ant, she cannot perceive the third dimension. So similarly, for human beings, to perceive the dimension of the Supreme, it is intrinsically impossible. So logic can take us to some understanding of Supreme Lord. It cannot take us to the full understanding of the Supreme Lord. It is not possible. So no matter how much ever one can apply his brain, Lord should be like this, or I think that absolute truth should be like that. See, this is what these Mayavadis do. Neti, neti, neti. They say, I think absolute truth should be like this. Prabhupada said, as soon as you say I think, means it is nonsense. Prabhupada would say, I think. Either you speak with certainty or you don't speak like that. I think, right? Sometimes we also say, somebody asks for the address. I think it is just 2 blocks away. So I think, मतलब उसको अभी 2 लोगों को पूछना पड़ेगा. He has to ask like that because it is uncertain this way. So the point is that even if one is a brilliant mind, actually one cannot reach the Supreme Lord by just logic, because Lord is beyond logic. Krishna, Supreme Lord, is completely beyond logic. Now, how is he beyond logic? We'll talk about it. Can God create a stone which he himself cannot lift? Answer. Can God create a stone which he himself cannot lift?
Yes.
Yes, he can. So, okay, very nice. Yes, he can create a stone which he himself cannot lift. Meaning he creates a stone which he himself cannot lift. Meaning he is not powerful enough to lift that stone which he has created. Means he is not omnipotent. If he cannot lift the stone which he has created,
Doesn't wish to lift it, he will not, he can do anything.
yeah,
It is not possible that he can, this is not
correct.
possible.
But I'm saying, asking, can he create a stone which he himself cannot lift?
I think question is not right.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
Let's see. I want to hear some other. This is a very famous question that was being asked by, atheists and agnostics to Christian missionaries. ऐसा पकड़ के बोलते थे, बोलो बोलो, can God create a stone which he himself cannot lift? You say yes, problem है. If you say no, problem है. दोनों केस में God's omnipotence is getting violated. If you say yes, he creates a stone which he himself cannot lift. Oh, how is that God which he himself cannot lift something? ऐसा कैसा भगवान है? You say yes, he can create a stone, or rather you say no, he cannot create. Then if you can't create, then what kind of God is? In both cases, omnipotence is getting violated. God's characteristics of omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence, they are very popularly known. So Prabhupada was asked this question. So like this, logicians had a series of questions to ask to Christian missionaries. Can God create a square circle? बोलो भाई, can God create a square circle? Square circle, क्या होता है ये? Can he create or not? He can create? How can he create a square circle? क्या होता है वो square circle? What is it? There is nothing called square circle. Can God create it? He cannot, or he is not omnipotent. He can't do. Can God make somebody else as God? He can? तो फिर तो दो भगवान हो गए. नहीं बना सकते तो काय का भगवान है फिर? He can't do something like that. है कि नहीं? So ये logician लोगों के question थे. So when Prabhupada was there, Prabhupada was asked this question. Can God create a stone which he himself cannot lift? Mataji, Prabhupada was asked this. Can God create a stone which he himself cannot lift? And Prabhupada said yes. Mataji's answered. So they said yes. So how is God omnipotent? Prabhupada said, as Krishna, he creates a stone which he himself cannot lift, and as Balram, he lifts it. And because Krishna and Balram are non-different, so he is satisfying the criteria. So he said that, what can God not do? He can do anything. See, you can understand this. See, logic does not stop Krishna from doing anything. It stops us from understanding how does he do it. ये बहुत बड़ा point है, आप इसको समझिए. Logic is not a bar on Krishna. It is bar on us. Because human brain is designed to think something logically. So when I say, what is a square circle? तो हमारा brain सोच पाता है कि square circle. Square circle क्या होता है? Can God create a square circle? He can do. तुम्हारे भेजे में नहीं जाएगा वो. Logic is stopping you from understanding. God cannot be stopped from anything. वो तो कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. लेकिन आप बोलोगे कैसे हो सकता है? स्क्वायर सर्कल होता है क्या? अरे वो तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम है, वो तो उनका प्रॉब्लम थोड़ी ना है. That is your problem that you don't understand what is a square circle. But God has all inconceivable abilities. He can do anything. So that is called achintya. इसको अचिंत्य बोलते हैं. अचिंत्य मतलब he can do physically impossible thing, he can do logically impossible thing. Like I can tell you example. See this, if an ant has to pick up this mic, is it possible for an ant? तो ant के लिए ये physically impossible है. लेकिन किसी और के पास, जैसे मेरे पास ताकत है तो मैं उठा पा रहा हूं कि नहीं? आराम से उठा पा रहा हूं. So ऐसी चीजों को बोलते हैं physically impossible. God can do physically impossible things. Ant cannot lift, but because I have the power, I can lift. So if I can lift this mic, God cannot lift the mountain. He can or not?
Yes.
Because he has the sufficient power, so he can lift the mountain also that way. So Jiva Goswami says in Bhagavad Sandarbha that God can do physically impossible thing. बट ये तो फिजिकली इम्पॉसिबल हो गया, सिंपल लॉजिक से समझ रहे हैं आपको, जिसके पास स्ट्रेंथ है वो कर सकता है, लेकिन गॉड कैन डू इवन लॉजिकली इम्पॉसिबल थिंग. He says that is achintata, meaning something which we may not be able to conceive also, he can do it. Can God draw a square circle? Yes. Can God create a stone which he himself cannot lift? Yes. Problem is, you will not understand. Because your brain is designed to think something in a logical way. So can God make someone else as God?
Yes.
Yes, he can. He can make someone else as God, but how does he do it? That you may not be able to understand. Anyway, he makes his devotees and treats his devotees as God only, isn't it? He makes his devotees, worships his devotee practically as God, his pure devotees. So, भगवान की अचिंत्यता देखिए आप. तो इसलिए कभी कभी लोग ऐसा प्रश्न पूछते हैं कि is everything in my life known to Krishna before only? Whatever is going to happen in my life, does Krishna know that already? So if he knows already, how is it free will then? I have a free will or not? But then you are saying Krishna knows already what I am going to do. So how am I having free will? इसको समझ रहे हैं आपको? Limited. Okay, you are saying limited. See, if I know what you are going to do after half an hour, so then do you have a free will or not? That's what logic says, right? Isn't it? Because I already know what choice you are going to make. So when Krishna, we talk about Krishna, कृष्ण को सब जीव के बारे में भूत भविष्य सब कुछ पता है कि नहीं पता है? He knows it. Everything he knows. So then jivas do have their free will or not then? स्वतंत्र इच्छा है कि नहीं है फिर? तो ये कैसे हो रहा है दोनों? यही अचिंत्य है. This is what is achintya. See, it is amazing. Krishna knows what you are going to do. But at the same time, still you have the choice. It's not that it is predetermined. That is only inconceivable. Otherwise, some people take a stand thinking that, okay, not everything is predestined. Even Krishna doesn't know what we are going to do in the future. It is impossible for Krishna not to know something. Krishna knows everything. आपकी choice तक पता है उनको, सब कुछ पता है. It's just that how then free will and this go together, it is very difficult for us to understand. So again, their logic is stopping us from understanding. Logic is not stopping Krishna from doing it. Krishna is not bound by logic. Krishna is beyond logic. भगवान तो तर्क के परे है actually. He can do anything. So devotee lives with this faith that भगवान के लिए क्या असंभव है. You know, there was this person, one cobbler, and cobbler story and Narad Muni story, Narad Muni, cobbler and Brahmana story, you know?
Yes, Prabhu.
Right?
Yes, Prabhu.
So there was one cobbler who used to worship the Lord, and a Brahmana also used to worship the Lord. So one time Narada went to check, see their faith. So then he told them that when I recently went to Vaikuntha, and what was Lord doing there? Yeah. He was sewing an elephant through the eye of a needle. ऐसे. तो ब्राह्मण जी तो बहुत महात्मा है, सब मंत्र तंत्र कृष्णाओं वाले लाइक दैट. वो बोले है ये कैसे संभव है? सुई में से हाथी को डाल रहे, ये नारद जी फेंक रहे क्या? नारद जी आप you are speaking all lies, looks like. I think you never went to Vaikuntha. No, I went to Vaikuntha. That's what Lord was doing. Said it is impossible. And don't tell me all such things. How is it possible? And he went to cobbler, Dusra. And cobbler he told, see, I went to Vaikuntha and amazing thing. What was Lord doing? वो हाथी को सुई के छिद्र से he was sewing the elephant, making the elephant pass through the eye of the needle. So cobbler started dancing. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. भगवान कैसे मेरे भगवान लीला करते हैं? हाँ, बोले अचिंत्य है मेरे भगवान की लीला। तो देखो हाथी को सुई के धागे। तो नारद मुनि बोले, "हे, थोड़ा बैठो इधर। Do you believe this thing? It can happen like this?" So he said, "Why not? What are you saying, Narad Muni? Why not it? Why it can't happen?" So Narad Muni said, "How is it possible? How can somebody put, the needle is this much, elephant is this big?" So cobbler said, "Narad Muni, you're a great soul. I think you are testing me. You know everything." He said, if the Lord can put a huge banyan tree in small banyan seed, what is impossible for him to put the elephant through the eye of the needle? So you see. So he had faith in the Achintyata of the Lord. While the Brahmana, he was a learned man, but he didn't have the faith in Achintyata of the Lord. So, see, devotee has full faith in Krishna. What can he not do actually? I may not be able to understand, but he can do anything. He can create a stone which he himself cannot lift. And Prabhupada said, he creates a stone which he himself cannot lift. And so he's accepted your challenge, and then as Balram, he lifts it and he defeats your challenge also. So for logicians like you, he will befool you. So the point is this, you see, if you make logic as supreme, then logic is God or God is God? If you think logic is supreme, everything should be logical. God भी logic के दायरे में होना चाहिए. फिर भगवान बड़ा हुआ कि logic बड़ा हुआ? Then you are accepting logic is greater than God. So God is beyond logic. You can't. So we study all Shastra, we study all logic to understand. See, then you may say, no, why we are studying this Shastra, where we are applying logic and everything. So Prabhupada said once that we apply all logic to understand that Krishna is beyond logic. हरि बोल, ये हम लोग कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर. सारे शास्त्र पढ़ के, लॉजिक पढ़ के समझते कि भगवान को तो तर्क से नहीं समझा जा सकता. But that effort of studying Shastra should be taken. If we just, go on faith, blind faith, then we'll not be able to preach to people, isn't it? And sometimes we may ourselves be lacking conviction. So that's why we should study Shastra, although we should know that Krishna cannot be conquered by logic. Krishna cannot be conquered by knowledge. He can only be conquered by love. The love that the devotees have, Brajvasis have, the Bhaktas have. So by that he can be conquered. So you see, this is how Krishna can do logically impossible things, and he also can do physically impossible. So you understand Achintya kya hota hai? Achintyata is actually a very profound concept, you can see. He can do anything. We may not be able to understand, but he can do anything this way. So next comes the aspect of how Lord's energies are non-different from him. So please read this line, para 2.
Although his energies are innumerable, they can be divided into three principal categories: the internal potency, the marginal potency, and the external potency.
Yes.
There are hundreds and millions of subheading to each of these categories.
Yeah. So God and his energies, and three energies are primary: Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tadastha Shakti. So these energies are simultaneously one and different with the Lord. This is called Achintya Bheda Vedat. Achintya Bheda Abheda. The energies and energetic are simultaneously one and non-different. भगवान के साथ एक भी है वो, और भगवान से भिन्न भी है. How are we one with the Lord? Can someone tell? As living entities, we are one with the Lord. How are we one? In quality. Very nice. And how are we different? In quantity, isn't it? So, Just like you say, sun and sunlight, right? So early morning, you open the windows and then sunlight comes in your room. What do you say? Who has entered my room? Sunlight has entered, sun has entered. We say, Arey chalo, sun has entered now. Now it's looking good. But sun aa gaya hai kya? Has the sun entered in your room? If sun enters, you will not be there to say that sun has entered. Like that. Right? So, sun and sunlight, two things are there. They are one and the same. As soon as light came, you said, Dekho, acha lag raha hai, abhi Surya aa gaya. But still, you know that it is not sun per se, sun person. Because if sun comes fully, then finished. Nothing will stay. Sun's position is so arranged that if sun moves by 1 inch here, whole earth will be finished. It will be burnt. And if sun moves 1 inch on that side, earth will be frozen to death. So that position is so perfect of the sun from the earth. So it is placed by somebody like that, isn't it? Otherwise, there won't be any life on the planet Earth. So the point is that we see sun and sunlight, they're simultaneously one, but they're different also. Right? So the energy is sunlight and the person is sun. So we may get experience of energy and we understand that it is non-different than sun in one way, but it is also different. Both are there. So Prabhupada gives example of sun and heat and light. Heat and light are one and the same. ऐसा कोई होता है क्या? There is a sun, but there is no heat and light in that sun. फिर वो sun क्या हुआ? Sun without heat and light. Can you imagine sun without heat and light? So sun has to have heat and light. But at the same time, we see that sun possesses heat and light. And those are his energies. There is sun and sun possesses heat and light. In Vedic life, though, we understand sun actually is a person. Who is the sun god? Kya naam hai unka? Vivaswan. Vivaswan is the sun god, right? So Vivaswan, he is the person. And that person, he has his, whole abode called as, it's basically a chariot. Entire sun is actually a chariot. It's an abode which is continuously moving. Vivaswan is sitting on that and he is moving continuously. So what you see is the effulgence of that sun, like that. So anyway, that's a different topic. What I want to say is, see, this is called energy and energetic are non-different. Source of energy and energy, they are one, but they are different also. Just like we, material nature, it's non-different from the Lord, but it is also different. See, this wall, this cement, this chair, this is also Krishna's energy. So it is non-different from Krishna, but still it is different also. Does this have consciousness? Does Krishna have consciousness? Yes. So this is known as material energy. We are known as marginal energy. And spiritual world's residents, they are known as spiritual energy. So this is how we see that all these Achintya Veda Tattva here. Further, you see. Please read this. Para 3.
Although the Lord and his energies are not different, one should not mistake these energies for the Supreme Truth. Nor should one wrongly consider that the Supreme Lord is distributed everywhere impersonally, or that he loses his personal existence. Men are accustomed to reaching conclusions according to their capacity for understanding, but the Supreme Lord is not subject to our limited capacity for understanding.
Yeah. So although Lord and his energies are everywhere, but Lord's separate existence is also there. It's not that he is distributed everywhere, so that's why there is no separate existence. So this is what impersonalists say. If Lord is spread everywhere, then where is the question of his separate existence? Like if I take this and if I make 10 pieces of this and litter everywhere, तो ओरिजिनल पेपर रहेगा क्या? फिनिश्ड. तो वैसे वो बोलते हैं अगर भगवान सर्वत्र है तो ओरिजिनल भगवान बचा कहाँ? If I make 100 pieces of this paper and throw everywhere, original paper is gone. So similarly, if absolute truth is everywhere, where is the original absolute truth? कुछ बचा ही नहीं. लेकिन हमने पहले शांति मंत्र में ही सीखा क्या? पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं. पेपर से 100 टुकड़े भी आए तो ओरिजिनल पेपर बचता है कि नहीं? He remains. So that's why, although Lord is everywhere in terms of this material energies and everything, does he have his own existence or not? Yes. So everywhere in these energies, in the form of material energy, is existing. And where is he existing as a person himself? In Goloka, in Vaikuntha, he is residing also like that. तो मायावादी का ये कागज का एग्जाम्पल फालतू है. That once you throw the paper pieces everywhere, original paper piece, where it is? Are you first? Shanti mantra only told you. Where were you while learning Shanti mantra? Purna Purnam Udachyate. Infinity minus infinity. Infinity. Still, it will continue this way. So that's why Prabhupada is saying, you see, nor should one wrongly consider that the Supreme Lord is distributed everywhere impersonally, or that he loses his personal existence. Men are accustomed to reaching conclusions because they are thinking in limited. वो क्या भगवान क्या पेपर है क्या? मायावादी को बोलना चाहिए भगवान क्या कागज है, कागज के टुकड़े फेंक दो इधर उधर, वैसे फालतू कुछ भी बोलते हैं एग्जाम्पल. राइट. And Lord is Purnat Purnam Mudachyate. This way. So this is Prabhupada telling now further. In fact, there are 3 categories actually. There are materialists, there are impersonalists, and there are devotees. This is an important discussion, so I will just take this. Hare Krishna. See, 3 categories of people. 3 categories of people. All right. See, materialists. Then there are impersonalists. Finally, there is devotees. तो 3 टाइप के लोग हैं. They see Lord's energy and they have different responses. When a materialist sees Lord's energy in this world, what does he say? Materialist का क्या approach होता है? ये सब कुछ किसके लिए? मेरे लिए है. Materialist think that this is for my enjoyment. So materialist romanticize the material world. The impersonalist demonize the material world, and devotees utilize the material world. 3 terms है, romanticize, demonize, utilize. हम लोग देखते हैं इसका. तो मटेरियलिस्ट क्या करता है? उसका बहुत रोमांटिक कंसेप्शन रहता है about the material world. He thinks that this whole world is for my enjoyment. So seeing God's energy is materialist. What does he think? This is for my enjoyment. You know, impersonalist or Mayavadi, what does he think when he sees the material world? It's all illusion. It's all illusion. मुझे नहीं चाहिए भाई. It's illusion. That way. And when devotee sees this energies of the Lord, what does he think? It is for whose pleasure? For Lord's pleasure. So Prabhupada would give very nice example. Suppose you are walking on the street and you see a wallet full of, 200 KD. You see a wallet which is fallen on the street. So three responses looking at that wallet. अरे आज किसका मुंह देखा था सुबह, बढ़िया है. इतना पैसा, जय हो राधे. Right. So you pick up the wallet and say, very nice. Nobody's around, nobody's seeing. Oh, Jai, this was for me only. Like that. This is one. Second person says and looks at that wallet and says, मेरा नहीं है, मेरे को क्या करना है? It's not mine. I don't care. It's not mine, so I will not see also. Look at it. It's okay. And he will walk away. And then there is third person who will pick up the wallet, but he will not take out the KD. He will take out the address, the card or something, find out that person's home and go and give him. Out of the three people, who is the best? कोई बोलता है पहला वाला अच्छा था, अपने घर लेके गया. या कोई बोल रहा है कि दूसरा वाला भी अच्छा है, डिटैच्ड बाबा, कुछ लेना देना नहीं. Third person, right, Siraj? Third is the best because he is finding out whom does that wallet belong, and he is utilizing. He is making sure that it is reaching to him. So same way, devotees, the karmi people, karmakandis or materialists, karmi people, they say everything for my enjoyment. I want, sab kuch mere liye. This world is for my enjoyment. Jeena yahan, marna yahan. This is it. And then there are the impersonalists, Mayavadis say, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Like that they will say. Srila Prabhupada, when he initial days he preached in Western world, so devotees one time brought him a photo. So there was one Mayavadi, and in front of him a lot of money was kept. This was a photo in newspaper, and Mayavadi was shown with a lot of money, and Mayavadi was doing like this. Mayavadi. Why? What is he thinking about that money? This is all illusion. This is all Maya. Which he's saying, this is all illusion. Take it away. Reject it. Like that. Prabhupada said, Acha. Prabhupada said, you take my photo. You take my photo. So they said, Prabhupada, how? Yeah, he said, you bring money and you take my photo with like this. So devotee said, what this Prabhupada? Yes. Prabhupada said, that fellow is rejecting all the Lakshmi, give to me. I will use whole world's wealth in Krishna's service. Prabhupada said, Sare dunya ki Lakshmi ko. One time, somebody came to meet Prabhupada and he said, we are having a lot of problem how to engage this government money, because so much scams and all. Prabhupada said, you give me, I will engage. No, he said, Swamiji, we can't give. No, you give. We will take care of all the money. We will make you free from all the worry. Prabhupada said. So the point is, you see, these three responses looking at Lord's energy. So the devotee is the best person actually, because he recognizes this is Krishna's energy and it should be used in Krishna's service. Just like Mother Sita, Ram Navami is coming. So who is Mother Sita meant for? Shri Ram. So if Ravana wants to take her for his own enjoyment, is that good? No. So that is most sinful, most horrible, offensive if one wants to take Lord's energy for himself. And then this second category also, where somebody may be detached by apne ko kya karna hai? Jiska hai uska. Whoever is having it, so detached hai. But better than that is, you recognize whose energy is it and you use in his service. Who was that? Hanuman. He knows that Mother Sita means she is for Ramchandra. So he took Mother Sita and, we see that he took the message and, brought all the army of Lord Ramachandra. So these are the devotees. For us, Hanuman is the hero. We want to be like Hanuman. connect Lord's energy with the Lord. This whole world is Lord's energy. तो इसलिए हम लोगों को कितना भी पैसा दो, हम लोग सब भगवान के सेवा में लगाना चाहते हैं. This way, just like Prabhupada said also. So that's the point of this particular verse. All these energies, they can be used in Krishna's service. So Achintya, this particular aspect continues where Prabhupada says that even great rishis and suras cannot know Krishna. Which are the great personalities who could not understand Krishna? They were bewildered by Krishna. Yes. Tell some examples. Brahmaji was bewildered. Very nice. Indra was bewildered. Shiva was bewildered. One more or many more, but at least. Yes. Who? Ganesh was bewildered. Acha, which Leela of Ganesh? There is one Leela, but that I know. Do you know that? Yes. Okay. So Kumaras were also bewildered by the Lord. Kumaras तो ज्ञान शक्ति के अवतार है. It is amazing, no? ज्ञान शक्ति के अवतार को भगवान ने bewilder कर दिया. It's there in the third canto, the episode like that. So you see, Lord bewilders such people, such personalities. So under the influence of material nature, foolish and ignorant living beings who are but parts and parcels of Lord try to conjecture. So this is one word, conjecture. Conjecture means speculate. Speculate about the Lord. So we don't speculate. We hear from the Shastra, the actual understanding of the Lord. This way. So sometimes they say, "Arey, ye aap log Bhagwan ko you project human nature on Lord." They say that, because you like blue people, so you made Krishna blue. Because you like flute, so aapne Krishna ke haath mein flute de di. They say like that. But is it that we have painted Krishna blue, or is he blue originally? He is originally blue. They say, why you are putting in Krishna's hand flute only? Why not buffalo horn? Or why not guitar? Krishna is playing with guitar. Problem is, he likes flute. And that is mentioned in Shastra. It's not that we have put flute in his hand. Right? Because it's mentioned in Shastra. Venum kvanantam aravinda dalayataksham. So, Barhavatam Samasitam. Why peacock feather? Why not pigeon feather? That is because that's what his form is. That is mentioned in Shastra. So we are not concocting anything. We are following this Shabda Praman, Apaurushaya Shabda Praman. तो लोगों को जिनको पता नहीं उनको लगता है कि ये तो क्या है? They are concocting something or like that. No, we don't conjecture. We take our knowledge from the Shastra, from the scriptures. That's it. And finally, Prabhupada talks about do your part, and in this way, you will get the revelation. So this is also very nice discussion, last discussion here. We will talk about. Yes, so please read this. Who can read this last para? Quickly, you read it.
When the part and parcel living energy forgets its particular activities under the Lord's will, he is considered to be he is considered to be in Maya, illusion. Thus, from the very beginning, Sri Isopanishat wants us to be very careful to play the part designated for us by the Lord. This does not mean that the individual soul has no initiative for his own, because he is part and parcel of the Lord. He must partake of the initiative of the Lord as well. When a person properly utilizes his initiative or active nature with intelligence, understanding that everything is Lord's potency, he can revive his original consciousness, which was lost due to association with Maya, personal energy.
Thank you. So last part is what, we render. So this is why we render our service. We do our part by taking initiative. And then it's up to the Lord whether he wants to reveal us with his knowledge. See, Prabhupada is saying here, when we talk about carefully playing the part, it means basically being engaged in devotional service. So when we engage in devotional service, then we will be given the revelation by the Lord. Huh? And while we engage in devotional service, we also have the initiative in our hand. We can take initiatives. We can use our nature in Krishna's service. Huh? We are not like Mayavadis where all talents, all material energy, we say, Sab Maya, so Maya hai, like that they will say. No, the talents, the energy, the skills, are they Maya? They all can be used in Krishna's service. So when we are using it, Varnashram recognizes this, everybody's nature, individuality, and accordingly, they can be engaged. But when we do this, see, Prabhupada is saying, when person properly utilizes his initiative, active nature, so it's very important that we ourselves also take responsibility of our spiritual life. ऐसे नहीं है कि हमारे our spiritual life's responsibility is only with the superior. वो एक गाड़ी होती है, देखो उसको ढक्कल स्टार्ट बोलते हैं. You know that you have to push that. The car will not begin without pushing. So, you know, वो बैठा रहता है ड्राइवर अंदर और पीछे जोर लगा के. So they have. So then after pushing like that for some distance, then फिर गाड़ी शुरू हो गई. हाँ, like that. तो हम spiritual life में ढक्कल स्टार्ट नहीं होने चाहिए. Initially, we all may be like that. But once we understand the seriousness of bhakti, we should take the responsibility of our own. Prabhupada is talking about that active nature, initiative. If we want to please the Lord, we must also take responsibility of our own spiritual life. How much you will push, right? Right? If somebody doesn't want to go ahead only, then how much a superior, senior devotee will push? आप सोचो वो गाड़ी में बैठा है, इधर से पीछे से सब धकेल रहे, लेकिन वो ही ब्रेक लगा रहा है. If that driver is only putting brake, then can he move ahead? He cannot. So similarly, our counselor, our mentor, they may be pushing, devotees are pushing, but if we are only sitting like Buddha, so then how will we make advancement? We have to be active. We have to take responsibility of our own spiritual life also. The whole system is there to support us, but we also have to take the responsibility. It's very important. Because Krishna consciousness is so sublime, I can tell you, if we don't take the responsibility, somebody else will take. It will not stop. हमने किया सेवा तो वो होगा, नहीं तो नहीं होगा. ऐसा होता है? नहीं. If you don't do, somebody else will do. The seva will never stop. You become the fortunate one. You do it, you take the initiative, and you get the credit. Lord Krishna said to Arjuna, Mayeva nihites purvameva savyasachin, nimittamatram bhava savyasachinis. All these soldiers, I have killed them already on the battlefield. You just have to become a nimitta. So you become nimitta, take the credit. Otherwise, if you don't take, I will make somebody else take the credit. This way. So even in devotional service, this is a very, very important aspect actually. Prabhupada would also say that when there are fighter planes, so when fighter planes are there, they get training on the ground together. Fighter plane pilots, they get training on the ground together. But once they are in the sky, you have to fly your own plane, isn't it? So similarly, we get guidance, mercy, association. But when it comes to chant Hare Krishna, when it comes to service, that we only have to do, isn't it? ऐसा तो होता नहीं. Today also I was saying that we can't hire somebody to chant our 16 rounds, right? ये कौन है? हाँ, इसको किराए पे रखा है, जब करता है मेरे लिए. Can that work? It can't work. Service. Prabhu, who is he? He does all my service. Prabhu, tell. Hundreds of services, please tell. I will delegate. Delegate in the sense that see, we should also do the service. See, Rukmini Mata, Mother Rukmini, when she is there in Dwaraka, she has thousands of maid servants. Still, she takes the chamara in her hand and she, fans Krishna. What is the need? And she can say, hey, thousands hai na, आज से schedule लगाती हूँ. हर दिन एक एक ने आना है. पूरे साल भर का schedule. I will put up the schedule of the whole year. Who is going to fan the Lord? So thousands of maid servants. So she doesn't have to do it. But still she takes the fan in her hand and she is fanning Krishna. Why? Because that's how a devotee is. He wants to engage others, but he also thinks, am I engaged? What about my service? Do I have the service? So that initiative is our own responsibility also. Initially, when we come in bhakti, everybody pushes us. But after some time, if we are not very responsive, then devotees may feel like, okay, maybe, not so much response. So then they will not so much push us then after some time. But if we show the eagerness, then we will always be in that list of those who can do the service. And it is a wonderful fortune to be in that list. The last thing is people or devotees consider us as hopeless. Okay, this person can't do anything, like that. That would be the most greatest misfortune on that way. So we show the willingness like that. Whatever is our capacity, whatever is our position, from our place, with our pace, join the race. Haribol. From our place, wherever we are, whatever is our position, with our pace, we may not be as skilled as everyone else, or we may be skilled as everyone else. We may be more skilled than others. With our pace, join the race. This race is to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. So, chalo. From our place, with our pace, join the race. And this race is for what? This race is to attain Krishna's lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So in the last paragraph, you see Prabhupada gives a very beautiful definition of perfect knowledge. So this is also a golden statement. Remember this. Perfect knowledge means knowing the Lord in all his features, knowing his potencies, and knowing how these potencies work by his will. Beautiful statement. Perfect knowledge की क्या definition दी है? Prabhupada. Perfect knowledge. Knowing the Lord in all his features, knowing his potencies, knowing how these potencies work. So this is it. And who can understand? The Lord can be known by one who has adopted such a submissive service attitude. So finally, this is the sum and substance. If one has a submissive service attitude, one will be divinely empowered. No matter, you may have skills, you may not have skills, whatever. Ramchandra could have chosen the best of warriors to fight with Ravana. Whom did he choose? Monkeys. So he is showing that for accomplishing my purposes, I don't need big time. I can do with anyone. Just Krishna does not want a very expert servant necessarily. He wants a willing servant. Are you willing? If you are willing, he will accomplish anything with you, through you. Problem hota hai ki we are not willing only many times, or we are willing little bit. So that's the point. Okay. So once this verse is done, now mantra 5 is just half an hour. That's it. So we'll have a break now. Let's have 5 minutes break. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So you are finding good discussions on this chapter? Yes. Haribol. Whatever. If something is achintya for you, don't worry. Let it be. Yes, sometimes I use some difficult concept, physically impossible, logical. But once you understand it, it's a very thorough concept.
The name Aditya Veda is given by
Jiva Goswami
in Bhagavad Sandarbha.
Bhagavad Sandarbha. Bhagavad is the second Sandarbha. That Bhagavad.
Thank you.
You there all.
Varna Prasad station now I will finish.
Is it over?
5 and 6 on.
Today?
Yes, all the studio here was 11.
Why you want?
I need to write the answer for this question. So
Yeah,
many
yeah,
things.
very uncomfortable.
So many things are
I was
remaining.
about to ask you, what is it? I was missing lots of that. What is the main answer? I don't know.
He mainly answered this question.
What is the
got
main
it
answer?
on which you cannot.
Yeah, what
Only
is
after
the main
the thing. You want to go ask, we can go ask, but different things.
what
I just go to I want to utilize meeting here. Everybody go. Come.
up? I see.
Yeah. I watched it.
Bro, they have a question. You can everything. You can go. Finish. We'll talk something. Bro, after hearing whole Ramayana, you're asking me the Ramayana.
Yeah.
No, Shastras as the guide to understand. You go.
Prabhu? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right. So next verse also we see that it talks about the aspect of inconceivability, right? Achintyata. Two verses speak about Achintyata, verse 4 and 5. So we have discussed Achintyata in detail in verse 4. So now it will be very quick in 5. So let's recite verse number 5 together. Mantra 5. Tade jati tannaye jati taddure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bhayyata. Again, tade jati tannaye jati taddure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bhayyata. All right, please read.
The Supreme Lord walks and does not walk. He is far away, but he is very near as well. He is within everything, and yet he is outside of it.
So now you see, even amazing, right? Now clearly contradictory qualities. Achintya. Huh? Supreme Lord walks and does not walk. So now you have to remember the example of Devadatta. Who remembers example of Devadatta? Somebody remembers? मोटा है कि मोटा हो रहा है दिन ब दिन. क्या उदाहरण है देवदत्त का? दिन में तो नहीं खाता है, फिर क्या हो रहा है? ठीक. तो दो स्टेटमेंट्स है. देवदत्त does not eat throughout the day, but Devadatta is growing fat every day. ये तो very contradictory statement. Similarly, Supreme Lord walks and he does not walk. What would be the synthesis? Walks मतलब ही वो भगवान चलते हैं, भगवान नहीं भी चलते. So the synthesis will be हमारी तरह नहीं चलते. He does not walk like us with a material body. He walks with a transcendental body. So when we walk from here, we go there, right? But for him, when he walks, so like suppose Supreme Lord walks from here to there. So will we say that, okay, he is only here now, he was before here and now he is only there? Or will we say that he is everywhere? He is here also, there also. So Lord walks and does not walk means what? When we walk, that kind of logic doesn't apply to the Lord. When we walk, we have to walk with a material body. When we walk, then we go from another place. So we were here, now we are there. So these two are different places. There is no connection. But that's not with the Lord. When he walks, still he is everywhere. He has not left his place still. Although he walks and goes to another place, but still he is there. We'll talk about this. I'm just explaining the verse. He is far away, but he is very near also. This we discussed before. What is he is very near? How is Lord very near? Paramatma. But he is very far. Is Bhagavan. Yes. He is within everything. He is within everything. What feature? He is within everything. या तो वो फीचर क्या है वो ब्रह्मन परमात्मा और भगवान okay. two features are everywhere, remember this. Brahman and Paramatma, both the features are everywhere. Brahman is everywhere, Paramatma is also everywhere. These two features are everywhere, and the third feature is only at one place, that is Bhagavan. He is in Vaikuntha or he is in Goloka. Of course, they are all non-different than each other. वो तो सेम भगवान की बात हो रही है, बट उनके अलग अलग फीचर्स है वो. In his Paramatma feature, he is everywhere. In his Bhagavan feature, he is in Goloka. In his Brahman feature also, he is everywhere. Like that. But is it that these are three different personalities? No. Mountain कितना है? एक ही mountain है. It's just that three different features we are talking about. So same way, Lord also. He is inside everything, he is outside of everything. So as Bhagavan, he is outside of everything. But as Paramatma, he is inside everything. So as Paramatma also, he is outside. Where? Then he resides in that Garbhodak Sagar, or he resides in Kshirodak Sagar. Or originally as Bhagavan, he resides in Goloka. So you can see these contradictory qualities, they are simultaneously true. When Narsimhadev was killing Hiranyakashipu, one eye of Nrsimha had anger for Nrsimha, for Hiranyakashipu, and another eye had love for Prahlad. Try karo. You try that. You can try this. Can we do this? एक आंख से माधव के प्रति प्रेम और दूसरी आंख से प्रभु जी पे गुस्सा. I'm just giving example like that. We can't do that. Nrsimhadev was simultaneously manifesting these two emotions. So that is our Lord. He can do such a thing. It's possible. Two contrary emotions. Either we are happy, either we are angry, or we are feeling great affection, right? Usually. Contrary emotions, very rarely they come together. But we see that in Lord, contrary emotions, contrary qualities, contrary, everything comes together. So Prabhupada is saying now, you see he has beautiful themes in this, and especially the deity worship theme is there, which I want to speak about. So these are the themes. Supreme must be inconceivable. How absolute truth is far yet near. Then he speaks about the science of deity worship. This is very important. So we'll focus on this topic. Extremely important topic of deity worship. Nirguna and Saguna. You have heard these words? Nirguna and Saguna. And finally, how the Lord pervades everything, yet he is separate. So let's talk about this through Prabhupada's purport now. These are the themes. Tomorrow I'll get some time to complete all the additions in the PPT. I'll give this tomorrow because if I share this with all, it will be useful, right? Yes, so I'll share this PPT tomorrow because some of the last slides I wanted to change. So tomorrow I should get time. I'll do that. Okay, so here we go. Prabhupada. Yes. Yes, please take the mic and somebody who can read it fast and clearly. Please read. Yes.
Paragraph 1. Here is the description of some of the Supreme Lord's transcendental activities executed by his inconceivable potency. The contradictions given here prove the inconceivable potencies of the Lord. He walks and he does not walk. Ordinarily, if someone can walk, it is illogical to say he cannot walk. But in reference to God, such a contradiction simply serves to indicate his inconceivable power.
Just go read the yellow one.
The impersonalist philosophers of the Mayavad school accept only the Lord's impersonal activities and reject his personal feature. But the members of the Bhagavata school, adopting the perfect conception of the Lord, accepts his inconceivable potencies and thus understand that he is both personal and impersonal.
Yes. So you see, the point is that ordinarily for someone to say that he walks and does not walk, log bolenge kya hai, what? Speak something logical. So it is not very logical to say that, right? He walks and doesn't walk. I will say one thing, either walks or doesn't walk. They will say. But God is not anti-logical. God is beyond logic, translogical, it is called. So for him, both the possibilities, or rather both these statements simultaneously can be true. As Paramatma, because he is everywhere, so what do we say that, what do we mean by saying that Paramatma is walking? He is everywhere. So he doesn't have to walk only, right? Because he is just everywhere. But still, as Bhagavan, we see that he walks. Krishna left, after his pastimes were over, he left Hastinapur and went to Dwaraka. So Mother Kunti was praying, please don't go, my lord. No, please don't go. If you go, then all the happiness, that I don't like. If you are there and if there is difficulty, or whenever we are in difficulty, you come, that is very nice. Like that, she said. So we see that Lord comes and goes in his Bhagavan feature. But as Paramatma, he's just everywhere. So he does not walk. As Bhagavan, he walks. Brahman, as Brahman, does he walk? No, he does not walk. But as Bhagavan, he walks. Like that. He's inside, he's outside. We talked about that already. This way. So all these aspects. So you see, logic can go up to certain extent. Like if you are in darkness, you take a torchlight. So it will show you some light and you can see some things. So in darkness, torchlight will show you something, at least some source of light is there, something. So logic is like that. If you are just ignorant, by applying logic, you will make some sensible statement. But if you put the torch on sun, क्या होगा? Can the torchlight show the sun? Udhar torchlight ki range khatam. The torch becomes useless there. Similarly, you can understand by logic, some things. Okay, this is logical. This is logical. Now apply that logic on Krishna. It's gone. It's like sun. Krishna is like sun. You can't apply that logic on him. So this is the point. Logic is like torchlight. It is useful in some way, some extent. But when it comes to absolute, absolute is like sun. So what will your torchlight do? It is just completely beyond logic. So we can speak about some logic. We talked about this. We apply some logic so that we understand some fundamental ideas, principles, and all that. But inherently, implicitly, we know that I cannot judge Krishna by logic. What he can do, it is achintya. I can understand something maybe. So even in our life, no, we have to develop this conviction as a devotee that sometimes I may understand why Krishna is bringing something in my life. Sometimes I may not understand at all. But I have this complete faith that Krishna is my greatest well-wisher. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam सर्वलोक महेश सूरदम सर्वभूतान. भगवान मेरे सुहृद है, निश्चित. He is my greatest well-wisher. I may understand it, I may not understand it. So this is how a devotee. Otherwise, if everything I have to understand, no. First I have to understand why Krishna is doing this. फिर तो आप logic लेके आ गए ना फिर से. You are trying to understand Krishna. You are thinking that Krishna is Chintya, but he's not Chintya, he is Achintya. Even with personalities like Pandavas, if he can give them suffering, they are pure devotees. Why should they get suffering? But then he gives suffering even in their life. And Bhishmadev says that, who can understand? Nahasya karichit rajan, Uman Veda Vidit Sitam, Yad Vijidnyasaya Yukta Mohyanti Kavayopi. He says to Yudhishthir that who can understand why Lord Krishna does something in our life? We may be able to understand something here, there, but actually Krishna, he has his own plan. Finally he is doing with our well-wishing. He wants that we become strong devotees. That one purpose is very clear. But how he accomplishes that we may not understand, realize. We may think like, Bhagwan agar mujhe ye denge to meri bhakti अच्छी चलेगी. लेकिन फिर देखते हैं भगवान देते नहीं वो चीज. तो फिर हमें लगता है अरे मेरी तो अंडरस्टैंडिंग में ये दिस आई शुड रिसीव दिस थिंग. बट दैट्स नॉट ना, दैट इज योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. भगवान का और आपका घड़ी अलग है. He has his own watch. You think that I should get it on this day, this time. भगवान बोलते हैं मेरी घड़ी में थोड़ा टाइम इतने जल्दी नहीं मिलेगा, थोड़ा बाद में मिलेगा. या तो फिर हो सकता है वो घड़ी नहीं पहने उस दिन. So you don't get it. So we do our part, and then we if Krishna gives, it's fine. If he doesn't, Prabhupada would, it said that, I think not Prabhupada would not say this, but this is a very popular line. If you want to make Lord Krishna laugh, tell him your plans. If you want to make Lord Krishna laugh, tell him your plans. आपके plans सुन के कृष्ण बोलेंगे अच्छा ठीक है मेरे plans बताता हूँ अभी. So you understand what I'm saying? If you want to make him laugh, meaning when you make planning, he laughs. He says, okay, ठीक है भाई, बना ले planning, कितने भी, मेरे plan कुछ और है. Like that. And then his plans are the best ones for us. It's just that suspense will remain in our life. So as a surrendered devotee, at least trying to surrender, we are happy with Krishna. So even if we want something in life, we pray like this. Krishna, if you are willing, please offer this thing to me. If you think that this is good for my service, please give this thing. We should not just ask, Krishna, please give me this thing. Krishna, I have to crack IIT. Of course, you must give. No. If you think that this will be good for your service, please, my Lord, please bless me that I can do it. So if you put that if, then your bhakti is, not conditional. It is unconditional. Just because you are accepting the willingness of the Lord. If it pleases you, if you think it is good, then please, my Lord, give it. Otherwise, whatever you give, I am very happy. I will continue my service. Fantastic, no problem. So, for us, actually, Krishna certainly is a great shelter, and we can ask him also something. But then we never put that condition on Krishna, saying, you have to give me this. I am serving, so many years I am serving, you have to give me this. How can you? You are giving to outsiders. Why not me? So Krishna will say, you leave it to me. I should decide who is the decider here, decision maker. This way. So that's how it is. All right. So Prabhupada takes it ahead. He says that we should not take it for granted that because we cannot see God with our eyes, the Lord has no personal existence. We talked about this, right? Shri Ishopanishad refutes this argument by declaring that the Lord is far away but very near also. Lord is very far, but he is very near also. You know that story of that Brahmana who cooked a nice kheer from Bhakti Samit Sindhu? Yeah. He was a Brahmana from a place called Patishtanapur. Rupa Goswami speaks about it. So he did not have any resources, but he had heard that Lord is Chetasa Savior. You can serve the Lord in the mind. तो बेचारा निर्धन ब्राह्मण था, उसने बोला आज तो मैं परमान्न ऐसा पायसम बनाऊंगा भगवान के लिए. I will make the first class. So he got the best of rice from heavenly planets, best of ghee of Surabhi cow, best camphor, best. All Matajis are expert; they can tell whatever is needed for the kheer. He got everything best, everything in meditation, like. And he made the kheer, and he got all the vessels and made the kheer, everything wonderful, like that. And finally, because he wanted to offer it to the Lord, so he wanted to check if it is too hot. So he just put his finger. Devotees don't put finger like this. When you have to check, you put finger like this on the item. We don't dip like this. The nails should never touch the bhoga, like that. So he did like this, and then he got burnt. ये सब ख्यालों वाली खीर है. This is all in the meditation happening. And as soon as he touched the kheer, his finger got burnt, and so his meditation broke, and his finger was actually burnt, like that. And the half part of the story, this comes from Purana. The rest of the part. So Lord Vishnu was watching this from the Vaikuntha. And as soon as his finger got burnt, Lord Vishnu clapped like that. And he smiled, laughed like that. And Lakshmi ji was sitting next to him. She said, Kya Pati Dev, hame bhi batao kuch. You are laughing on your own. You have to tell me also. What's there? So Lord said, come. You see this Brahmana? What happened? So he made the kheer in his mind. And then when he wanted to see whether it's hot because he wants to offer me, and then as soon as he touched, because I accepted the offering, so his finger burnt. So Lakshmi ji said, amazing devotee. What a devotee he is. My dear Lord, he doesn't deserve to be in the material world. So Lord Vaikuntha, the Lord of Vaikuntha came down, and on that very moment took the Brahmana back home, back to God. That's what happened. That was the last day of his in the material world. He was carried back by Vishnu Dutas, of course. Lord sent the Vishnu Dutas, and then he was carried back this way. So you see, the point is that Lord is very far. He's there in Vaikuntha. But when you offered with love and devotion, immediately he accepted. Immediately the whole thing became manifested, and he took also, like that. So that's how he's very far, but he's very near also. He may be very far, but when a devotee makes a sincere prayer, immediately he hears. He hears it, and Draupadi cried out for his help. Gajendra cried out. Immediately Lord came, like that. So that's his wonderful, wonderful nature. Further, Prabhupada says, yet when the personality of Godhead comes before us, we neglect him. Such foolish negligence is condemned by Lord in Bhagavad Gita 9:11. Very famous verse. Avajananti ma modha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwara. Avajananti. They misunderstand me, deride me. So the Lord, you see, he is beyond all the logic, he is beyond all conception in terms of time and space and all that. This way. So that's why now Prabhupada brings up the topic of deity worship, very important. If Krishna is inconceivable, can that inconceivable Lord manifest his presence through any energy? He can or cannot? He can. So if Lord is transcendental, meaning Lord's body and Lord's form, it is spiritual or material? Spiritual. Spiritual means it is made up of a constitution, just like our body's constitution, what it is? Material. Yes. What is that constitution? Meaning Panchatattva are there. Earth. So that's it. Basically, it is material energy. Bhumi, Rapo, Anala, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Revacha, Hankariti, Emme. Ashtadha Prakriti. That's our body's constitution. Now, when I ask you, what is Krishna's body's constitution? What will you say? Transcendental is the nature, but what's the constitution? ये पेपर बना है तो ये पेपर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हो गया, इसका प्लास्टिक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हो गया, इसका स्लेट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हो गया. What about Krishna's body? What is the constitution? You understand? Satchidananda. Haribol. Remember this, Krishna's body's constitution is Satchidananda. It is transcendental substance, Satchidananda. It is called as Chit Shakti. It is in Antaranga Shakti, internal energy, Chit Shakti. All these words mean the same thing, like that. So now you have to tell me, can that Satchidananda Lord come in a form which is material? Is it possible for him? Everything is possible. But can that transcendental form come in the form of material energy? Is it possible?
Yes.
He can manifest in the form of material energy or not?
Yeah.
He can. Which is that form of the Lord which is manifested in the constitution of material energy? Deity, Haribol. You got it. Concept very clear. Deity is the form of the Lord which is manifested in the form of material energy. And when he is manifested as material energy, still he is the Supreme Lord only. It's not that time he is not Supreme Lord, and only when he is transcendental, then he is Supreme Lord. In all the case, see Pillai Lokacharya's example, when the elephant sits down for the child, is that same powerful elephant ki uski power khatam ho gayi? It's the same. Does he have the same height? Does he have the same glory? Similarly, when Lord becomes a deity, he has the same glory. So then, we are going into very interesting discussion now. So if this is the thing, then when, who was that? I think it was Dayanand Saraswati, one spiritual leader. He saw that the deity was there, Shivji's deity, Shivji or Ganesh, I don't remember. But from that deity, some bhoga which was kept was stolen away by the rat. And he said, if this deity cannot save the bhoga stolen by a rat, what will it save me? So he said, I reject deity worship. Arya Samaj. This is how he rejected the deity worship. So now you tell me, if Lord is coming in the form of the deity, and if some bhoga in front of Lord is stolen by mouse or rat, what will you say? What kind of Lord is this? He cannot protect his own bhoga. What will you say?
Lord is very merciful. He is providing for everybody.
So he's providing for the rat also? Okay, interesting. He's providing for the rat.
Lord came in the rat.
Okay, Lord came in the rat form. Okay, amazing, Muniz. Yes.
Because Lord will that he should eat.
But when you do that, when you do bhoga offering and rat comes to eat bhoga there, you do like this? Bhagwan, you drive away the rat or not?
Yes.
You drive away, right?
Basically, the challenge is there's no hygiene.
There is no hygiene. Yes. In the worship of deity, there is no hygiene. So that's why you would not want the rat take away that bhoga in any way. Exactly. Right. Very nice. Prabhu is picked up very nice. It is Pujari's fault. So now here we are coming to a very great principle about deity. See, these Christian missionaries, when they came to India, they used to catch hold of Brahmanas and say, if deity is Bhagavan, why that deity is breaking? Sometimes deity breaks, no? Bhanga. they call it. If deity is Bhagwan, why that deity cannot protect? When the Mughals are attacking, you are running around here, there, taking the deity. If he is Lord, can't he protect the Lord himself? What kind of Bhagwan is he that he is running around so much? Srirangam was attacked by that Malik Kafur, and 40 years Srirangam temple was closed because they were, they sealed the Lord inside a stone because they would have otherwise broken the deity, and they took the Utsavamurti to Tirupati because the king was powerful. And that Mughal rule continued. So after 40 years, they came back and they broke all the stones, and there was the Lord Ranganath Swami. So they restarted the worship like that. So when Lord does not protect himself, so to say, or this all sorts of things, whose responsibility it is that Lord should get the bhoga with proper hygiene, or nobody should break the deity, nobody should cause harm to the deity? Is it Lord's responsibility or is it Pujari's responsibility? It is Pujari's responsibility. So as you said, the deity form of the Lord, you have to know the purpose of that form. The form is coming to offer opportunity to serve. It is like a child who is coming to a devotee. So that form of the Lord is not to manifest its omnipotence. When somebody is coming to attack, this Lord, comes there and he kills everyone. That's not what a deity is. That is done by other forms of the Lord, like Krishna. When Krishna comes as avatar, Krishna comes or avatars come. So when demons attack them, then do they not show their omnipotence? They show the omnipotence. But the deity form of the Lord, you have to know the purpose of that form is not to show the power. It is to show, or it is rather to offer the opportunity of service. So if somebody doesn't understand that the purpose of deity form is so that we can serve the deity, then they will start questions, all such questions, saying that, so this Dayanand or whoever was that fellow, so this fellow never understood that, well, if Shivji or Ganeshji is not protecting bhoga from rat, that is not the deity's problem. That is the problem of the pujari. What is he doing? He's sleeping at home or what? So, see, these guys have done a great injustice actually to Vedic realms and all by speaking such ideas. Bhagwan apne bhog ki raksha khud nahi karte to meri kya karenge? See, the point is the deity is supposed to be taken care by the devotee. So every form of the Lord has a certain purpose. So in that Archa, Ramanujacharya speaks about 5 forms, and one of them is Archa. He says Archa Vigraha is for the purpose of awarding the service opportunity. It's not for showing its own power and all that. Still, Lord may sometimes do it, like he did some Leela with Sakshi Gopal and all that. That's up to him. He may do it, but that's not how it is. So that's why when the deities are attacked and all, the devotees would take it as their responsibility to protect, because Lord is like a child who has come to me. I should protect him. So that's why, they took the deity around and protected the deity. Even in Vrindavan, all the Vrindavan's deities went to Jaipur. Before coming to all of you, I had been to Jaipur, and I went to visit all these original Radha Madan Mohan, original Radha Gopinath, original Radha Govind, all these deities. What is there in Vrindavan are the Pratibhu Murtis. They were placed later. So you see, yes, this is the point. Yes, ma'am.
That he told that in the like in deity worship, like deity form, the Lord is materialized.
Yeah, he's coming in the form of material energy.
But when he takes when he does the Leela and he comes in avatar or as avatar, what is his
Constitution. That is Satchidananda. When he comes in the form that he comes to perform Leelas and all that, no? The constitution of his body is called Satchidananda. It is called the constitution itself is called Satchidananda, or Chit Shakti, you can say. That's the word for that. Chit Shakti. Like this mic, is this material energy or spiritual energy? It is material energy. See, we are using it in Krishna's service, but material kya hai ye? Is it material or not? It is matter. Yeah. But when we see Krishna who appeared and performed Leela, when we see Krishna's body, is it matter or Chit Shakti? It is Chit Shakti. Krishna's body, Radharani's body, Nand Baba's body, Yashoda Mai's, these are all transcendental substances. That's how it is. So only form that Krishna takes in the form of material constitution is the deity form. That's all. And even in that form, we see that he remains the Supreme Lord, even though sometimes we see that the devotees may face difficulty or the deity may break or like that, but still Lord remains transcendental. It's not that deity's hand broke, so अरे Krishna जो है उनका हाथ टूट गया. Krishna, अभी now Krishna is without one hand. It's not like that. The deity may break and we should take full care that it should not break. But even if deity breaks, is it that Krishna's transcendental form is broken? He remains, not bound in that particular form. Although we should see no difference between deity and Krishna, but sometimes people, they would question to devotees also like that, saying that, oh, so if Krishna's one finger is broken, means no, originally Krishna's finger is broken or what? No, that is a form which is matter or made up of matter. So it will have its effect. After 20, 30, 40, 100 years, the matter will show its nature or not. It will. But still, Krishna is not bound in that. So, see, essentially now what I'm trying to tell you is, this is also Achintya Bheda Bhed. भगवान जो है वो उस डीटी से अभिन्न है, लेकिन तो भी अगर if something happens to that Archa Vigraha, so we should not think that Lord is bound in that Archa Vigraha and because of that now he has lost his finger or he has lost his this. He remains transcendental also. He remains separate also in the spiritual world. At the same time, he is there in the deity that way. So both. So Prabhupada would give example, somebody who is electrical engineer, he can take that same electrical energy and he can make, its effect as heat, like heater. And he can make the same also as fridge, which is cooler. So energy to ek hi hai, no? What is that? Electricity. But electricity is appearing as heat, electricity is appearing as cool. So similarly, Lord has that same, his transcendental energy. He can manifest through material energy also. He can manifest through spiritual energy also. Basically, even though he is in that material energy's form, but deity is 100% transcendental. So we don't differentiate between deity and the Lord. One time one devotee said, Prabhupada ji, Krishna is in the deity. Krishna is in the deity. So Prabhupada said, what nonsense? Krishna is not in the deity. So he said, what? Krishna is in the deity. Prabhupada said, Krishna is the deity. Krishna is not in the deity. Deity में किधर है वो कोने में है क्या कोई इधर उधर किधर Prabhupada said Krishna is the deity. This deity is not different than Krishna. You have to see like that and you have to serve like that. नहीं तो फिर सोचते बैठे कि हम लोग कृष्णा डीटी में है मतलब किधर है नीचे है कहीं तो भी तो ऊपर कुछ हुआ तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं like that. No, he said Krishna only has manifested as the deity in this way. Okay, so that's the point. So Prabhupada is saying that we will understand that even if the Lord appears before us in the form of material energy, it is quite possible for him to convert this energy into spiritual energy. So that's actually deity where it is coming in the form of material energy, but still it is actually completely transcendental. Okay, why does Lord come in that form? What is the need? क्यों आते हैं? आगे पैराग्राफ 5 में यही बात बताई है कि why does Lord have to come in that material form? क्या प्रॉब्लम क्या है? बोलिए. To accept the seva. So why not? He can come in transcendental form, no? To accept seva. Why in material form?
Because we cannot perceive.
This is the point. Because we can't perceive. भगवान तो आ जाएंगे in Satchidanand form. Do we have eyes to see him? See, you have to know this point. Huh? Krishna's Satchidananda form we can't see by this eyes. Nobody can see. Unless and until you have love of God, no? Prema Chakshu. We can't see Krishna's form. So if we can't see Krishna's spiritual form, we can't perceive it. Even if he is there in front of us, we will not be able to perceive. So that's why he is mercifully, he decides to come in a form which we can see. So you see, that's his mercy. Okay? You can't see my transcendental form? No problem. Which form you can see? What can we see? We can see matter. Matter. So I'll come in matter form. That's Krishna's mercy. अब सोचो कितना मर्सीफुल भाव है भगवान कि ठीक है भाई, till the time you become pure devotee, you are not going to see my transcendental form. तो तब तक बेचारे को कुछ भी स्कोप नहीं है फिर. He has to chant holy names, or he has to. So what way we can serve him till that point? So he says, I will come in the form of deity. Till that time you serve me in the form of deity. And once you become fully purified, then I'll manifest my transcendental form. That's actually the philosophy behind deity worship, this way. So let's read this and then I can pause for today. Those devotees, please read this.
Those devotees who want to see him by means of material vision are favored by the Lord, who appears in a so-called material form to accept this devotee's service. One should not think that such devotees who are in the lowest stage of devotional service are worshipping an idol. They are factually worshipping the Lord, who has agreed to appear before them in an approachable way. Nor is the archa form fashioned according to the whims of the worshipper.
So we are not worshipping idol. They say idol worship. पत्थर की पूजा कर रहे आप लोग, ऐसे बोलते हैं. कई दूसरे धर्म वाले भी बोलते हैं अपने पास, वो भी पत्थर की पूजा करते हैं. So you are worshipping idol, they will say, but actually are we worshipping idol? No, we are not worshipping idol. We are worshipping the deity, which is an authentic form of the Lord. And Prabhupada says it is not fashioned according to whims of the worshipper. So when we make the deity form of the Lord, Krishna ke haath mein kya guitar dete? What do we put? Bansuri. So why we are putting bansuri? Yeah, it's favorite instrument. But where do you get this info? Scripture. That's the point. So the deity form of the Lord is made as per the instruction of Shastra. ऐसा नहीं उठ के मेरे दिमाग में आ गया कुछ तो मैं deity form बना दिया. कृष्ण जो है इसमें गिटार बजा रहा है और पैर से ड्रम बजा रहे डुक 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 ऐसे. We do what is scripture. In fact, the whole process is so scientific. There is prana pratishtha. If you make a deity, still it is not Krishna. Only after prana pratishtha it becomes Krishna. So great devotees, acharyas, they invite that Lord and Radharani, please come in and be these deities. So if there are no acharyas inviting and all that, it is a statue only. It is still a statue. It turns deity only after prana pratishtha. Understand? So this is a scientific process of actually establishing deity. It's not that we are just worshipping the stones or like that idol. So no, it's not idol worship. It is ideal worship. You can say it is ideal worship. This is the best worship. Once Prabhupada was asked by one man, and he said, Swamiji, why do you worship these idols like that? So we should not worship idols. So Prabhupada said, see, seeing this idol, or whatever you want to call it, somebody is fainting in ecstasy. And you are looking at it and feeling that ye to patthar hai karke. But looking at the same deity, somebody else is fainting in ecstasy, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whenever he would visit the temple, they would fall flat. So problem kisme hai? The same deity, somebody is seeing and is murcha aa gayi usko, itna bhav aa gaya. And same deity somebody is saying and saying he is Bhakti. So Prabhupada said, the problem is deity is not stone. The problem is aap andhe. You are blind. So you develop the eyes and then you can see it. If you don't have the eyes, then keep quiet. Like that. So that's the point actually. The same deity, you see how different reciprocation. Like that. Once one hippie got up and Prabhupada was there, and Prabhupada would sit in front, and the deities are on this side, Prabhupada is here, and this hippie got up in between. And he said to Swamiji, Swamiji, have you seen God? Can you see God? Prabhupada said, you sit down, then I can see. Because he was standing in between and he was blocking the view. So Prabhupada said, sit down, then I can see now. And then he was, oh, okay, like that. Another person said, Swamiji, have you seen God? Like that. Prabhupada said, even if I tell you, will you believe? So he said, he was like that. So he said, I will believe. So Prabhupada said, yes, I have seen God. No, I don't believe. That's not the problem. Prabhupada said, that's not the problem. That's why I asked, will you believe? Like that. So he said, whether I have seen God or not, how are you going to judge? Like, what is your criterion to judge? Oh, bichara, what can he say? Like that. And then Prabhupada said, first become qualified to understand that who has seen God, how to understand that. कि किसने देखा है, किसने नहीं देखा है. You have to become qualified. You can't be just ignorantly asking, have you seen God? Like that. And this way. So that's how the whole aspect of deity worship is wonderful. See, Prabhupada, the Lord reserves, para 6, the Lord reserves the right not to reveal himself to anyone and everyone, but to show himself only to those souls who surrender unto him. So, last point I will say here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says a deity can be seen or worshipped in 3 ways. And this is important so that we all worship deity, so we have to know. He said there are 3 approaches for deity worship. First one is Jadamaya. Yeah, you understand, okay, you can read Devanagari or not? Jadamaya. Then second is Manomaya. Maya. Manomaya. And third one is Chinmaya. See, this Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in Jayadharma. So he says those who worship deities, they can have, or they are basically can be in these 3 categories. So Jadamaya are those who worship the deity but think that it is a statue. They think that ye putla hai. That's all they think. But then they want to, because somehow or other they want to concentrate. It's easy to concentrate. So they call the deity, they worship the deity, but they think that the deity is non-different than statue. Then there are these Manomaya guys who worship the deity, but think that this worship is a symbol of absolute truth. It's a symbol, chinna hai ye to ek. Like that. So these are the Panchopasaka people at the level of Manomaya worship. And they worship these 5 deities, Surya, Ganapati, Durga, and all of that. But they think that they are all symbols of the Brahman. No, don't worry if you don't understand. No problem. Symbol. Chinna, something that, what do you say, symbol? Sign, yeah.
The absolute.
Yeah, of a sign of the absolute truth. Manomaya. And then finally Chinmaya, where we think that the deity is non-different than the Lord. So who are these people? Those who think that Vaishnavas. They think that the deity is non-different than the Lord. Manomaya people think it is only a symbol, it is only a sign. So all these worshippers, Panchopasakas and Smartha Brahmanas, they all come into this category. And Jadamaya are they are just thinking that the deity is a statue. They don't worry about it at all. In fact, they think that we worship, and when our meditation will become perfect, the statue will break. They think like that. They have such horrible idea. I will concentrate on the deity so much that the deity should break. This is their idea. These people, Jadamaya and Manomaya, they think like that. तो भगवान का भक्त ऐसा सोचेगा? So these are like that. Those are inappropriate, non-authentic worships of the deities. So you may see many people worshipping deities. You have to see their idea also. वो लोग आपको दिखेगा कि deity worship कर रहा है, but he may be thinking that tomorrow the deity is going to break. I will break the deity by my meditation. Once in Kolkata, I met one person and he was saying that I am doing intense meditation, so soon I will become non-different than the deity. The deity will break and I will become one with the deity. See, all the Mayavadi's idea. All right, so that's how. Prabhupada ends the discussion with Saguna and Nirguna. Lord is Saguna, meaning with qualities. And when the word Nirguna is used for Lord, it means not that he is without qualities, but it means he is transcendental to the modes. So those two words, remember, we'll talk about them in Hiranmayana Patrena verse. So don't worry about it here, like that. Finally, Prabhupada brings the discussion to Prahlad Maharaj, how Nrasimha appeared for Prahlad through the pillar, so he can appear for a devotee through deity. Right? Lord appeared through pillar, no? So is it possible for him to appear through a deity? Then why not? He can. He did it. So that's why deity worship is actually the most authentic worship of the Supreme Lord. The fact is that there is nothing but God within and without. Everything is a manifestation of his different energies, like the heat and light emanating from fire. And in this way, there is oneness among his diverse energies. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So in tomorrow's session, I'll cover quite substantial content. Let's stop for today. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Shri Shopnishad ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Anyone, or you can ask me personally.